Hey everybody, JTISREBORN here, and welcome to another edition of my Batman the Animated Series reviews. This time we're going to be taking a look at episode number 49, I Am the Night. Okay, so this episode is more of a sad, depressing one than we're used to throughout Batman the Animated Series. This episode, Batman is really down on himself. Like, he is feeling like shit. Like, he is worthless, he's not accomplishing anything, he's pissed off, he's just depressed. This is a different Batman than we're used to seeing in this show. So, like, I immediately like the stronger, like, emphasis on, like, emotion in this episode as opposed to some other ones. This isn't, like, a goofy episode. I don't even recall, like, any, like, jokes or anything like that. This is straight up serious. So, in this episode, Batman's just, he's like, what have I done with myself, Alfred? What am I accomplishing? He just sees things like criminals are, able to avoid, convictions due to technicalities. He goes to see, like, Leslie Thompkins in Crime Alley. He also meets this boy who's, in a little bit of trouble. He's like, okay, Leslie, take this boy in. She eventually helps the kid, and he, changes his ways. And by the way, the kid named Wizard is voiced by Seth Green. But anyways, Leslie's like, why don't you go home and get some rest? You haven't slept in a while. And he's like, I can't, Leslie. I have to go. I have some other things I have to take care of. Including, like, one point where he goes to help, a bust with Gordon about some bad guy named the Jazzman, and then during the mission, Gordon gets shot, and, he's severely injured and could possibly die by this guy named the Jazzman, and even though he gets apprehended, Gordon's, his life is hanging by a thread. And at the hospital, Gordon's there, Batman's there, and then Barbara Gordon, who hasn't been here since Heart of Steel, shows up. Barbara Gordon. I'm a huge fan of Batgirl. I've read a bunch of the comics and stuff, and I do like her in the show, but damn it, every time I see her in a room with Bruce Wayne, Batman and Commissioner Gordon. In fact, based on the scene, somebody made a hilarious meme. Here, I'll pull it up on the screen. Look at this. Now I can't take the scene seriously. So, for some people they can. For me, I just kind of get a good chuckle out of it. But anyways, so Jazzman is apprehended. Bullock is pissed off at Batman, like almost snapping, like, I'm gonna finish you off, or I'm gonna put you down for this. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. I'm like, no, it wasn't. He helped apprehend the guy. But so anyways, Batman goes back to the Batcave. He's freaking out. He's breaking stuff. He's screaming. He's yelling. Alfred calls Dick Grayson, who's off at college. And this is actually the first episode, I think, Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon kind of interact with each other, which is neat to see, considering where they kind of go throughout the show. And, oh man, it's poor Dick and Babs. Poor guys and girl. If only things were different. That should have been something they focused on in the new Batman Adventures, but instead, they gave us that creepy, implied relationship between Bruce Wayne and Barbara Gordon. It's just weird to me, people. It's just, I know I'm getting off topic from this episode, but every time I see it, I think of that fucking scene in The Killing Joke. Or I should call it that scene, because that fucking scene, yes, is literally, that was implied double meaning when I said that, by the way. But anyways, blah, 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 blah. So, Batman's depressed. The Jazzman escapes from Stonegate Penitentiary, and Batman's gonna go out to stop him, but he's too depressed with himself. Robin's like, okay, fine, if you're not man enough to do this shit, I'm gonna take care of it. He's like, no, I'm gonna take care of this. So eventually Batman apprehends him. Gordon is okay. Everything's good. The wizard kid, goes off. He's like, thanks for everything, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, you know what, you've done some real good here. And then Batman realizes this, and he's like, you know what, I have a newfound sense of purpose and all that. I think I'm going to be pretty good here. So, yeah. And that's pretty much the episode. It's a really solid episode. I do like the emotions to it. I do think the weak point of this episode is the villain in the Jazzman. If he was a more established character, I think it could have worked better, because there's no real reason to kind of care about this guy as a villain. I don't think he's not so over the top that he's funny. He's just kind of there. It's not like in Robin's Reckoning where there was some real established history we got to see. This guy is kind of a generic villain, but he does have a death wish against, Gordon, which makes him, a little bit different than some. The Joker would make a big event out of it. This guy's just no, I'm just gonna straight up kill you, and that's what I kind of I do kind of appreciate that about him. But with this villain, it's I don't think he's all that great a villain. But him trying to kill Gordon is one thing. But Batman stopping him and saving the day, I thought that was pretty good. And yeah, I do like this episode. It's a very solid one. It's kind of like a middle of the pack type Batman the Animated Series episode. Not my all time favorite, but I think that's because I don't have as much connection with this villain here. So I mean, other than that, I do think it's a solid episode. And if you want a more serious episode of Batman the Animated Series, this is definitely one that you should check out. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Give me your thoughts on it. We can talk about it then. And, yeah, that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you had fun watching this. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Sean JT King. And, yeah, I'll talk to you all later. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace out.